So let's just jump straight to the caveat. We want proteins in an undenatured form. What does that mean? Okay, so back to the basics. Proteins in your body do very specific jobs. They perform very specific functions. The proteins amass together to make basically big pieces of, well, small, big pieces of machinery in your body to do things, anything from making you be able to see, to making the ATP in your body, to making your heart pump and beat, or just making the physical integrity of your body. Proteins are what you're made out of. So we need them to actually be in a particular shape and in a particular form. So what this means for us is basically, what's the best sources of protein? Well, for me, I like whey protein, basically, mainly because if you can find it, which you can, they're incredibly minimally processed. You know, there's lots of vegan and vegetarian proteins. Those are great, but they're not, for me, they're not as natural as a whey protein. They're just not as complete. They have to go through many processes to amass just the quantity of amino acids in the protein that we could get simply from whey protein. Now, in proteins in general, we want them to be in a particular form. The form that you're looking for is undenatured. That means the protein is actually in a biologically active state. It means that proteins have a fold to them, and they can be folded in a correct way and then in a non-correct way. So a good visual representation is basically this. If I had a piece of chicken breast or steak in this hand, and then this one was cooked, but this one it was either chicken or steak, but it was uncooked and raw. If I were to say, hey, what are these things in my hand? You would tell me instantly, oh, it's chicken or steak. Then I'm like, okay, cool, well, what's the difference? And you would say, oh, this one's obviously cooked and this one's obviously raw. The question is, what has happened that made this chicken look different to where you and I would know instantly that one's cooked and one's not? Well, really, and I'm just going to tell you, this chicken or steak has been denatured. The proteins have misfolded themselves, or the heat that we added to it, or the temperatures that or the pressures that we've added during the cooking have misfolded and distorted the protein backbone. So now they're not in necessarily an active state. Our body can use them, yes, but our body can actually use an undenatured protein better. Now, I'm not saying go and eat raw chicken and raw steak. We're talking about whey protein here. So the best protein source is the easiest, definitely for me, it's whey protein. And then, of course, we want that to be an undenatured whey protein. But we can go beyond that. We can say, okay, we want it grass-fed. Well, great, but what does that do? Well, when cows are actually grass-fed, as opposed to fed like corn, soy, wheat, any other type of grain that couldn't be sold in the markets. Not to mention that the grains are probably genetically modified. But the differences are, the cows that eat grass are exposed to basically every mineral that's in the soil. Grasses are excellent at just excavating the minerals and making them available. So the cows are way more abundantly loaded with minerals. And because of that, the whey protein that grass-fed cows are able to produce are much higher in just pure protein content. But not only that, they can offer some other things like immunoglobulins. What are those? Or lactoferrin. What's that? Or conjugated linoleic acid. Again, what is that? Well, in short, just to make it simple, immunoglobulins are a complement to your immune system. They grab onto bacteria, viruses, parasites, and they say, hey, there's something going on here, immune system, you need to check it out. They do that for you. Like if your immune system's busy or it's sleeping, these immunoglobulins will help activate your immune system. Or let's say, some bacteria are really sneaky and they want to amass themselves and they want to hide somewhere in your body. They'll create something called a biofilm. And even if your immune system sees it, it has a really hard time actually breaking through it. Well, the lactoferrin that could be potentially available in your whey protein, if it was grass-fed, it binds itself into the structural integrity of that biofilm, and then it messes with it so that your immune system can actually penetrate it and get the bacteria before they release like a full-on attack against your body. Conjugated linoleic acid, you should research it a little bit. Just type in conjugated linoleic acid on your favorite search engine. But basically you will see, okay, helps to resensitize your body to insulin. And what that means for you is that it will help maintain normal fat to muscle ratios. Basically, insulin, if you have too much of it, will make all of us extra heavy. And, I don't want that. Anyway, so conjugated linoleic acid resensitizes your cells to insulin, and that's going to help you lose weight. If you already have too much weight on your body and you want to lose a little bit more without doing anything extra, just resensitizing your cells to insulin that can come from conjugated linoleic acid is going to help lose weight, particularly around the midriff. Not only that, conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA, I guess it's easier to say it that way. It's a good antioxidant, helping to scavenge free radicals, and it's anti-carcinogenic as well. So you're not going to get any of this stuff in normal whey protein. The cows, because they're factory farmed. I don't want to mention any names, but most protein brands out there suck. It's very important for you to do the research if you're want to add that health to your body that can potentially come from whey, which it is good. Of course, we want the best. Anyway, so the cows are fed wheat, corn, soy, and whatever grain that may be there. Well, their body's not going to have the minerals or the vitamins, just the raw nutrition to make the immunoglobulins, to make the lactoferrin, to make lots of protein, to make that conjugated linoleic acid. Not only that, but the taste difference is like night and day when you actually get the best grass-fed, undenatured whey protein. Even if, let's just say, no flavors whatsoever, and you just drink the difference. One tastes like gross chalk water, and the other one actually tastes like you think it would taste. My favorite whey comes from New Zealand. The reason why I like it is because New Zealand, where it's at on Earth, the geographical place it is, basically it grows grass everywhere all year long. So it behooves the farmers to actually let the cows eat and roam and graze in pastures. More so than here, depending on where the ranch is, there may not actually be grass to eat. Not only that, but let's say that the ranchers are trying to do the grass-fed way, but it could be a drought, it could be for whatever reason they might have to purchase more grass, and anyway, long story short, it drives up the prices. New Zealand is the largest dairy producer in the world. They have the most strict agricultural laws like ever. They're fantastic in their keen sense to detail, and definitely when we're dealing with nutrition and we want to improve our body, we want definitely almost like fanatics with like detail. Okay, is it clean? Yes. Is there any chemical residues on it? No, I don't see any. Okay, good, great. Are we actually treating our animals humanely? Yes, we are. That's why I really, really like New Zealand whey protein, because it's undenatured proteins. The proteins are in their biologically active state. They have the immunoglobulins, lactoferrin, the conjugated linoleic acid, and it tastes great. Check it out, try it. I hope you like it as much as me.